This sometimes humorous reenactment of a psychoanalytic therapy session based on an actual case effectively shows the principles of free association, transference, resistance, and dream interpretation in action.
I really don't have much to talk about today. Nothing much has happened in the last 24 hours. Work today was boring, so I really don't have much of interest to talk about.
When you left here yesterday, you seemed kind of anxious about a date you had last night.
Oh, yes. I don't know why I forgot about that. The whole reason I came to analysis was to figure out what goes wrong every time I start dating a woman. Anyway, the date last night was pretty much a bust. I felt awkward and inept. I took her to a movie, but I couldn't enjoy the movie because the whole time I was wondering about whether or not she found me interesting. She didn't say anything to me, so I kept thinking that she didn't want to have anything to do with me. Anyway, an hour into the movie, she asked if we could go because she was feeling sick. So I took her home. I felt like a complete failure. Oh, that reminds me of a dream I had last night. I was sitting in a movie theater, but for some reason it was all lit up instead of dark. The name of the film was Crimes of the Heart, which I haven't actually seen in real life. A woman sitting behind me was giggling, so I turned around and looked at her. She kind of flirted with me, so I turned back immediately. Then I noticed a man sitting about 4 or 5 seats away from me in my row. And he looked like a real slob and was incredibly obnoxious. I noticed he was eating buttered popcorn in a messy, disgusting manner. I handed him a napkin. I don't know where I got a napkin from. But anyway, the man completely ignored me and just kept on eating. Then he noticed the woman sitting behind me, and they began to exchange flirtatious glances with each other. Finally, the man got up out of his seat and went and sat next to the woman behind me. They were giggling and carrying on and made it hard for me to hear the movie. Then an usher came up and told me that I was making too much noise and I should leave. I explained to him that it was the couple sitting behind me that was making all the noise, not me. But he didn't seem to believe me. He just kept telling me to leave. I argued with him, but he got increasingly threatening. It looked like he was going to bash me one any minute. Then I woke up.
As you think about the dream, what comes to mind?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is pretty obvious, I guess. I think about the movie that I went to last night. In both situations, I felt pretty uncomfortable. But my date really looked nothing like the woman in the dream. I can't really say the woman in the dream reminded me of anybody. I know she was wearing glasses. Oh, I just remembered something. She was holding a white rose in her hands. I know that sounds pretty bizarre to be sitting in a fully lit movie theater carrying a white rose.
Does the white rose bring anything particular to mind?
Oh, of course. The woman I took out last night was named Rose. But like I said, she really looked nothing like the woman in the dream. Besides, the woman in the dream was sitting behind me. Wait a minute, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say that you are sitting behind me, and therefore the woman in the dream must represent you. I really don't think so, though, because like I said, she really looked nothing like you. Besides, you don't wear glasses. The only other association I have to roses goes back to my childhood. I remember my mother had a rose garden in the backyard, and she worked out there constantly. A memory just popped into my mind. I must have been only 5 or 6 years old.